Will you do whatever is necessary to save the world, or run away and live life as you want? That is the question Knights of Azure place in front of the main hero. I'm Lomsu, Tori behind the camera. In today's lesson, we will learn what the main hero chose in his journey. The story begins many years ago. Night Lord, king of the demons, led his army against humanity to subdue the world into eternal night, a state where humanity will slumber in eternal dream and demons will live in the human world. To save humanity, an organization known as Curia was established, with the first Giant at its head. The prolonged war ended when the first Giant slew Night Lord. But it was not a complete victory. With Night Lord's death, his blue blood ran down the ground. In contact with it, humans, animals, and even items transform into fiends, which appear at night. Now, about 800 years later, people still are not safe at night, and the unholy knight of Curia Arnis arrives on Raswell Island. At the pier, her close friend Lilith, a Curia priestess, greets her. The girls know each other from the Curia Academy, where they met and spent time together, but their duties have kept them apart after. They rejoice in their reunion, happy to work together again on slaying field mission and just being together. They begin catching up on what they've been doing over the last couple of years. Looking at the nighttime city, they make plans for the future and decide to head to the Curia-owned hotel. On the way, a black cat joins them. Also, Lilith got kidnapped by one of the Night Lord's servants. Arnis quickly chases after the kidnapper, but soon loses their trail. Instead of pointless running, she chooses to contact the Curia associate at the hotel for assistance. The associate is Simon, the hotel manager. Curia has already told him about Lily's matter and instructed Arnis to go to the place named Count Rose Garden. Said garden is thriving with fiends, which confirms that it is the right place. By the way, the cat is with us, probably also worries. Making our way to the inner part, Arnis has found Lily's ring, which got immediately eaten by the cat. She quickly decides to worry about how to explain where the ring is after. Now she needs to deal with Night Lord's servant. The dragon doesn't want to give up on his dinner. The pure blood demon is not a regular fiend. His sheer power overwhelms Arnis, slamming her to the ground. Her consequentness starts drifting to another place. Waking up, she gets greeted by Night Lord himself. He is kinda bored and Arnis' struggle is kinda funny to him. So he gives her his sword to see if the Fiendslayer in front of him is a worthy adversary. Returning back into the real world, with new power we handle this dragon like a small lizard. Lilith, safe and unharmed, jumps into Arnis with a smile. Since the first Science victory over Night Lord, the Curia, every 10 years, assigns the title Saint to one of the priestesses. The new Saint has to sacrifice herself to strengthen the seal that prevents Night Lord's resurrection. The time to update the seal is indicated by the red moon, Milada. It appears in the sky, marking the imminent return of the Night Lord and eternal night. As we can see, it already appears in the Roosevelt night sky. Returning to the hotel, Lilith, with heavy heart, confesses that she accepted to become a new saint, with all responsibilities. Arnis expresses disagreement and objection. She cannot allow her close friend to die. But seeing that Lilith is serious and kinda cold, she decided to continue with her duties for now, torn between what is more important to her, the world or Lilith. Then the hotel, the place we are staying, is a repurposed Demon King's castle, so we should expect some unique features, like a phone which can reach anyone anywhere on the island, or doors which can transfer to and from some location around the town. Now this hotel will be our home base. Here Arnis will rest after battles, trade goods, accept new commissions, or receive new Curia orders. One fun fact. The Curia ordered Simon to separate the ladies into two different rooms. But seeing how happy the girls were, he couldn't be so cruel and gave them a shared room with one bed. After a pleasant day walking around the city with Lilith, Arnis decided to rest in her room, but instead the elevator transports her to an unknown place. There she is greeted by two faces, the already familiar cat and Maiden of the demon sword. Maiden explains that it is a dream and its appearance just happens to be Lilith. Maiden just wanted to say that Arnis, to become stronger and defeat the knight, needs to collect the blue blood from fiends and sacrifice it to the sword. The next morning, Lilith takes a side job as hotel maid, since we don't have any order from the courier. But she is clumsy, because she lost her ring. Arnis remembers that the cat ate it, chased after the black creature. And at this moment, I would like to clarify the cat position in the story. This cat is Night Lord, the one who was supposedly killed 800 years ago and gave the sword to Arnis earlier. The game hides this fact from characters and never tells them, but reveals it to the player almost from the beginning. He has been watching over Arnis for a long time. He made her join the Curia, orchestrated her and Lilith's friendship, and overall guided her in life. Usually, he sends messages in a black envelope.
聖女がなぜお前に指輪を預けたのか、理由を少しは考えろ。お前はバカか。ブラザーより。
Or, if need physical guidance, transform into the cat and follows her.
いつか見つけ出してぶん殴ってやる。
Arnis doesn't know who her guide is, or that the black cat is not a just cat. And the story of why Night Lord is still alive and works with Curia will leave for later. Meanwhile, we cut Night Lord and it obediently spat out the ring.
そうはいくかい。リュリーティスの指輪返しなさい。なんかべちゃっとしてる。洗ってから持ってこう。
Bringing it back to Lilith, Arnis tries again to convince her friend to abandon the role, arguing that she could still be a priestess, that they can travel together and hunt fiends. But Lilith ignores her and just asks to hold to the ring for now. After some time, Arnis receives a black letter from her guide. The Curia sent a person who should help her to locate the blue altar, which is used in ritual to seal the night. The said guest, for some reason, decided to visit the amusement park at night, at a time when streets are full of fiends, so we are heading there to save them. While searching for a mysterious guest, we meet Chris, a pure blood demon. She is not hostile. For now, only suggests deciding sooner, whether we are human or a demon. This choice arises because Arnis is half-blood demon. As was said earlier, anyone and anything in contact with blue blood will become a fiend, but as always, there are some exceptions. Arnis didn't become a fiend, but a half-demon without memories. In this stage she was found by the Curia, and the rest you know. The choice left by Chris doesn't bother Arnis, so we just continue with the search. Soon we found a guest, or two guests. We saved them from fiends and they start arguing over some petty things. We couldn't care less and left them. Inform Simon that we found guests and that they should be fine. But there is a new crisis coming. Lilith is sad. Let's invite her to dance.
「寄宿舎にいた時はよくこうやって踊ったよね」私ダンス下手だったものね。アーヌスがつきっきりで教えてくれて懐かしいわ。リュリーティス、私は昔からエージェントだった。 英国に行ったのも教皇庁の命令があったからだ。だから私をか弱い女の子なんて思わないでほしい。私は決して倒れないから。
私と友達になったのも命令があったから。私が聖女の子孫で妖魔に狙われやすいから。
それは知らなかったけど。
こんなに優しいのにずるいわ、ずるい。
君へ感じてる気持ちは本物だよ。
だからずるいんじゃないの。いっそ冷たい人だったらよかったのに。
リュリーティス。
アーナス、泣いてるの？
ごめん、何でもないんだ。今日はもう遅いからベッドで休もう。
アーナス。
The next morning, two poor souls arrive at the hotel alive. The first is Professor Alucard, a man fascinated by fiends and women. He came to Roosevelt to research different kinds of fiends. The second is Lloyd, a man driven by money and ladies. He came here searching for valuable loot to sell. The message mentioned that they sent one person to help, so the question of who it is still in the air. But for now, they occasionally will ask Arnis for a favor and help her sometimes. Also, they are both comedic relief in the story.
おはようございます、お嬢様。
よう、おはよう嬢ちゃん。
おはようございます。
むさい。
To gain Arnis' attention and favor, Professor Alucard says that he has the Black Book that may detail how to seal Night Lord. Someone tries to burn it, and he requires some resources to restore it. Dark Scales, Ashen Petals, and Essence of Rain. Professor Alucard thanks us and asks to come later. Tomorrow we get news that someone stole the Black Book. The professor suspects Lloyd because he will sell his own soul for money. Lloyd denies this, saying that this book probably costs less than air. However, Lloyd has a suspect. In the hotel there is one person who might want to stop Arnis from looking into this book, and that is Lilith. Her friend tries to manipulate her into not fulfilling her duty, and this book might have an option for that. But that is just his theory. Arnis cannot believe that, but her thoughts were interrupted by a call from Curia. They issued a new order: meet a certain demon who has information how to seal the Night Lord and is willing to cooperate. This unexpected opportunity, which was obviously not orchestrated by anyone, ignites a flame of hope. The demon is Chris. As she tries to explain, black butterflies, the symbol of the night, engulf her. She could only tell that night cannot be sealed, only defeated, before disappearing. Somehow Lilith knows about our meeting with the demon and furious with us. The girls quarrel because they care about each other, and seeing that neither of them is going to back down, they parted ways for this night. In the morning, Arnis receives a cold shoulder, a cupcake with broken heart, and almost at her fullness the red moon. The Curia orders to investigate the charge of defying God. It might contain the altar that can be used to seal the night. Despite the conflict between them, both girls are still willing to work together to fulfill their duties. But the altar was fake. Chris fed this information to the Curia to see if Lilith and Arnis were truly ready. She saw that the naive dork became the Curia pawn to protect her dork, and the dork became the Curia pawn to protect her naive dork. This realization opens Arnis' eyes. Her friend is willing to abandon her personal feelings and their friendship, sacrificing herself to free Arnis from the Curia, accepting death with no regrets.
そんな私を守る必要なんかないわ。
しょうがないじゃない。君に感じる友情は本当のことなんだもの。
宝津屋。
どっちがだよ。夜の君を倒すよ。
そんなの無理だわ。
それでもやるんだよ。
でも
リュリュ踊ろう。
アーナス、
But now they can't lie to each other anymore. The girls came to terms with their feelings for each other and decided to stop denying the truth. Also, it was Night Lord who stole the Black Book. The next few days, the girls decided to spend time together, walking, eating sweets, and gazing at the night sky. And as we have some time before the courier finds the real altar, we spare some time to help others, to find the second part of the love letter for Lloyd, which turns out to be a threat, to find Lily's missing doll who apparently came to life, and to do some research for the professor. Happy days don't last long. The final courier orders arrives. The knight and the saint must go to the altar and fulfill their roles. Interestingly, Night Lord personally called and relayed this order to Arnis. Professor Alucard and Lloyd oppose the idea of sacrificing Lilith and by the Arnis hands. The world is doomed anyway, nothing matters. They suggest just running away to live happily together. But both girls already made up their minds. At the altar we meet Chris. She also tells us to run away. The world has been corrupted a long time ago. Our action is just stale what will happen anyway. But seeing that Arnis didn't move, she left us with Lilith. Lilith opens the passage to the final destination and both girls steps forward. Instead of Night Lord, they are greeted by the head of the Curia, Ludegerd. She simply declares that she is the Night Lord. Many years ago, the world was full of wars. People were dying without reasons. Young Ludegerd couldn't watch this happen. Moved by her love for the world and all its people, she decided to take a drastic step. She would summon the Demon King to create a common threat that could unite humanity. However, despite his title, the Demon King proved to be a chill guy and refused to interfere with nature. Ludegerd, without her only option and having a strong will to do anything for the people, stole the Demon King's power, spread the blue blood around the world, and created the common threat by the name Night Lord. But the power came with a price. Her human body is always corrupting by holding it, and needs to be replaced every 10 years. That is the story behind the seal and why saints need to sacrifice lives. What about our Night Lord? Well, she couldn't kill her love. He doesn't hold any grudges against Ludegerd, but doesn't understand why she spared his life and decided to keep him close. So he decided to just play along and see what happens. Arnis doesn't care about Ludegerd's reasons, goals, or past. She cares only about own friend.
リュリーティス、下がって。この人から夜の君の血を吸い上げる。
私の存在は世界の意志。私を倒せるというなら倒してみるがいい。
は、終わらせてやるさ。こんな歪んだ世界。
In a tough fight, she slayed Ludegerd. However, pure blood demon cannot be killed. They will resurrect if nothing is done with blood. As she prepares to consume all blood and end her life, Lilith steps in front of her and accepts it, becoming the new Night Lord. Arnis cannot accept it. She has been fighting this whole time to save Lilith, not to lose. She doesn't care about the world without her. Lilith suggests joining her. She will erase the night from the world, but they will succumb to eternal darkness, where they can be together forever.
もちろんそんなことをすればこの地上から夜はなくなってしまうわ。太陽は全てを焼き尽くし、夢と眠りを失って人の心も枯れ果てるでしょう。でもいいの。あなたが生きられない世界なんて私どうだっていいもの。私はあなたさえいればいい。あなたさえいてくれるなら何をされてもいい。お願い、私の血を吸って私をあなたのものにして。
君を私のものに。いいよ、リュリーです。一緒に闇に落ちよう。そうして世界は更けない朝に包まれた。でも世界がどうなったかなんて妖魔になった私たちにはどうでもいい。私たちは永遠の夜を生きるんだから。そうだろ、リュリーティス。
I like the ending, despite that it is a bad one. Not a good or true, which leads to the sequel. There Arnis takes the Night Lord blood, keeps your sanity, and happily lives with Lilith after, till the sequel.
おかえりなさい、アーネス。
That's it for today, and hope to see ya next time.